Hey, what's up everyone, Danny here. This week's video is going to be different than what I originally intended it for because I'm running into some issues right now. What the video was supposed to be is a showdown between the RX 6500 XT, which released first, and I actually did a day one review of this, against the RTX 3050. This one is the Galaxy card, and I actually received this one after the embargo and the reviews came out. So I got this one a little late. Now, because I got the RTX 3050 a little late, I didn't want to do a typical comparison like most people that you probably have already seen by this point comparing these two cards. They pair it with high-end CPUs, tons of RAM, basically very powerful stuff that will force the bottleneck into either of these two cards. Because I wasn't able to hit a day one content with surrounding the RTX 3050, I had to strategize and think of a way to make something that was interesting enough for people to still watch it. So my idea was to pit both of these cards against each other in an old school Optiplex Dell PC. Now, I recently made an Optiplex video on my channel. I was going to use that exact same Optiplex system to test these two cards. Why I really wanted to do this video, and I thought it was really interesting, is because the Sandy Bridge platform, these processors, they are PCIe 2.0. Now, there was a lot of talk about the 6500 XT being only really viable if you had a PCIe 4.0 system, and if you had PCIe 3.0, then you do take a hit because of the bandwidth limitations, and especially the fact that this card is only 8 PCIe lanes. Even in my own day one analysis of it, I did see that there was a performance hit between PCIe 3.0 and 4.0. Some titles, it's pretty drastic. Now, this Dell Optiplex system being pretty old is pretty representative of people out there who have a system that's working. They probably have some other graphics card in there that they built this budget machine with. A Dell Optiplex paired with some past graphics cards that they were able to get before all the craziness happened. A really cheap way to upgrade your system and get a lot of performance is to upgrade just the graphics card, because a lot of times it can carry the weight, especially if you're still playing like 1080p and you're not pushing crazy high frame rates. So that was my reasoning for wanting to do this comparison in an Optiplex. I think it represented a realistic scenario as well as just being plain interesting. However, I can't get the RTX 3050 to work in this system no matter what I do. So the RX 6500 XT works well. Let me get this plugged in and I will show you that it boots up just fine. Alright, so here we have the system, 6500 XT in here, and we do get a video signal. This is going to be able to boot up and get into Windows, no issues. So I do have the latest BIOS revision 824, as you just saw right there, and it's going to get into Windows just fine. So when it came time to do this card, that was the issue. Alright, and then we're getting into Windows and the resolution's all messed up because the drivers for it isn't there yet. So now we're going to go to the problem child. So let me shut this down real quick, and I'm going to plug it in. So now we're going to power it on. As you can see, power is getting through, the fans are spinning. I have tried it with the display port. I've tried all three display ports and the HDMI, but essentially what happens is no image comes through. I also tried switching out monitors, so here's the monitor I've been using, but I have this monitor that's sitting right here on the ground because I was trying this one as well. I also tried the portable monitor, which I've never had issues with either. So I've tried it with multiple monitors ruling out and multiple HDMI and DisplayPort cables. So I've ruled out it being that issue. But the really interesting thing is, yeah, so this is what happens. Just no image comes through. And this already has drivers ready for the RTX 3050 in it. I can show you right now. So nothing's gonna change. There's just no image. What's really confusing to me is that I put an RTX 3060 Ti, so it's a 3000 series, a card that's from the same generation as this RTX 3050, and I ran benchmarks with this exact config, and that ran with no issues. So because this isn't working, I'm gonna power the system down, and I'm going to replace this graphics card with this one, which is a GTX 1050. I just want to show that it's not an NVIDIA problem, and we're going to go in and actually take a look at the drivers that are installed right now on the system that should be working with the RTX 3050. so that's good to go. And we're going to power it on now. Yeah, so we do get an image, but let me go into Windows to show you that the drivers are not the issue. Here's the driver version that I'm on, 511.79. This is what I have installed, and we can verify that by going into MSI Afterburner, where we do see the GTX 1050, which is on driver version 511.79. It uses the same drivers as the RTX 3050 would. And to verify even more, we can look up on NVIDIA's website for RTX 3050 drivers. Product type RTX 30 series, non-notebook. And from here, we're going to look for the 3050 specifically. We got 3050, Windows 10, 64-bit. Yep, so we're going to start the search. And I'm just doing this to show you that I am using the correct driver version. There's 511.79, and I'll even download it again. And yeah, so I downloaded it again, and then there's the parentheses too. So I am using the latest available drivers for this RTX 3050. The 1050 boots up just fine. So what I'm trying to get at here is that this system is not the issue. I know that because other graphics card works on it. Other new graphics cards like the RX 6500 XT works on it, as well as the RTX 3060 Ti works on it. It's just something up with this RTX 3050. So let me shut this down, and I'm going to show you that the RTX 3050 has no problems. It actually works, and I've tested it on multiple motherboards. Okay, so this system is shut down now. I have a 10th gen Intel system sitting right here, ready to go with RAM and everything. So all we have to do is quickly switch over the connectors from the power supply to this one, and we'll just leave it outside. This is just gonna be kind of like a vloggy type video where I'm showing what goes on behind the scenes and kind of like troubleshooting methods, because a lot of times when things go right, you just see the video, and or even sometimes when things go wrong, you just see the video and you never know what goes on behind the scenes. Like this seems like it should be a simple video. Oh, I'm testing 2 of the new budget option graphics cards from each company in an Optiplex build. And I thought it was going to be simple too until I actually started doing it and running into the problems. I'm not going to be able to get this done in time, especially since I have a LAN party coming up. And I thought this would be kind of interesting. And maybe if other people out there ran into this problem, because again, I think it is very reasonable for people to pair these entry cards up with these older Optiplex systems. At least they'll see my video and say, okay, it's not me. Especially since a lot of people out there, they don't have, and I've mentioned this in a lot of videos before, they don't have extra hardware on hand so that they can troubleshoot like this. If I had an old Optiplex and it was my only system and I bought an RTX 3050 and put it in and ran into this issue, I would not be able to diagnose whether or not the graphics card came DOA or not. So hopefully this is helpful to anyone out there who is trying this combination of parts. But okay, I think I have everything plugged in. Let me get the display plugged in. Got that here. And then I just need to short the pins to power it on. We can see the card is powered on and we get a signal right away. So what that is saying is that the graphics card isn't an issue. It's only an issue when paired with this Optiplex. Now, is it an issue when paired with this Optiplex specifically, or is it going to be an issue when paired with all Optiplexes of the Sandy Bridge generation? Well, I'm glad you asked. I also have an exact version of this board because I have used this for a budget build. So this motherboard that you see sitting out right here, I bought from eBay. It is the exact same motherboard as that one in there. This is for the same Optiplex 790 system. I tested this graphics card on this motherboard and the same thing happened. No display. I have 2 Sandy Bridge Optiplex motherboards that don't work with this graphics card. So there's no issues with the Optiplex system on its own. Like the system's fine. Most graphics cards that are thrown in there work. But also there's not necessarily a problem with the RTX 3050. We are getting display instantly when I put it into this system. It's just an issue when these two are paired together for some reason. So then I thought, okay, well, this isn't gonna work. It might take some time to solve. I may have to do that in a future video. Let me put this in another system. So if you look at this, it's gonna look just like that system we have up there, except this is an Optiplex 3020. This is a Haswell based Optiplex. So I tested that card in here and I'm going to show you what happens, but let me shut this down real quick. Okay, put this on the side. And now we're going to bring this Optiplex up here. For now, I'm just going to use this OEM power supply. But if we compare these two systems, I mean, they're both Optiplexes. They both have OEM Dell motherboards in them. This one was PCIe 2.0 though. The Haswell is PCIe 3.0. So we're going to put it in here. So one of the issues with doing this is that this does not have a 8-pin PCIe connector. So I'm going to use an adapter, which I don't really advise doing this, but I have these adapters because this is also going to be an upcoming video. But I'm going to plug in this adapter from SATA to PCIe, which again, this is not advised. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm just doing this for now, but I'm going to have another video talking about this and doing some tests and experiments on it. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, let me get this connected real quick. So we have SATA to 8-pin PCIe right there. Let's power it on now. And it detected it. I'm not sure if you saw. Let me see if I can get a screenshot, freeze frame or something with it saying RTX 3050 on there. But look at that. We get no issues at all. It boots right up, gets right into Windows. As you can see, the resolution's a little bit messed up because there's no drivers. But I don't know if it's going to be an issue with the RTX 3050, like all models with all PCIe 2.0 motherboards, or if it's this specific Galax RTX 3050 with all PCIe 2.0 motherboards, or if it's this specific RTX 3050 from Galax with Dell Optiplexes. I don't have other PCIe 2.0 hardware on hand. I'm going to have to change what I was intending to originally do with the video. I think I'm going to have to test it with this Haswell Optiplex system, which isn't the end of the world because I think more people have started to move to this over the Sandy Bridge ones, just because they don't cost that much more, but you get like a 2-gen improvement. You do get PCIe 3.0 like I just talked about earlier, and things like that. What really sucks is that I'm not going to be able to get RTX 3050 results on PCIe 2.0, which I thought that would be very interesting because that's become more of a interesting and popular like topic of discussion, especially with everything that happened with RX 6500 XT. So what sucks is if I can't get the side-by-side comparison video on this older system, yeah, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. But if I have to, I'm going to just do the head-to-head in this Optiplex build and frame it around that. But yeah, I spent hours like pulling my hair out trying to figure it out. Oh, I also went into the BIOS because I'm trying to give you as much information here because I know people are there. You guys all are usually very helpful and get to the comments and try to suggest things. And I have tried everything that I could. I did go into the BIOS. I looked at all the settings that I could for the system. There was nothing relating to the PCIe settings that could affect why the RTX 3050 does not work in the Sandy Bridge Optiplex. I'm very curious though, and I don't know how many people out there were able to actually get an RTX 3050, let alone get an RTX 3050 and try to put it into an Optiplex, let alone those two conditions, it being a Sandy Bridge Optiplex. But if you were out there and you were able to successfully do this, even if it wasn't an Optiplex, just RTX 3050 with PCIe 2.0, I think that's the problem. Yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments so that other people who may be struggling with this too and just, you know, aren't fortunate to have multiple pieces of hardware on hand to like kind of troubleshoot and pinpoint the problem, definitely let us know down in the comments. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Again, it's kind of a vloggy slash troubleshooting one, which wasn't intended, but because this problem came kind of at the last minute as I was kind of in a time crunch to try to get this done, I figured I'd make it and it'd be useful. But yeah, if you have any other suggestions, I would love to hear it because I want really badly for this comparison video to happen on the Sandy Bridge Optiplex. I'll let you know if you do respond with a suggestion, if it worked or not. But yeah, I just want to thank you all as always for watching and for supporting the channel, and I want to give a huge shout out to the channel members as always. Take care out there, and I will see you in the next stream and or video. Bye.